Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a post from Fierce Fatty where they go over the 49 benefits of being fat. I haven't covered anything from Fierce Fatty in quite a while. They were someone I used to feature on the channel back in the day fairly regularly. I actually covered a post from them back in June of 2022 called The 28 Benefits of Being Fat, so it's good to see that they've added 21 more benefits to the list, and it's good to see that they're still talking about how beneficial it is to be fat. We're also going to be taking a look at a couple bonus posts from Fierce Fatty, so be sure to stick around until the end. Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache. 49 benefits of being fat. Let's see if they still have the original 28 and they just added onto it. Let's see if we can remember the original 28 as we see them. Disclaimer, not every fat person will perceive all items in the list as benefits. Fat people are not a monolith, and not all fat people's experiences are the same. Okay, so some of the benefits that you're about to list, other people might not see as benefits. Some of the items are more fun and joyful, and others are backed by science. The list of sources on the last pages is not reflective of how exhaustive the evidence is, because there are tons of evidence showing the benefits of being fat, but a nice snapshot. Appreciate my work? You can buy me a coffee on Ko-Fi. Okay. Number 1, bigot filter. Body naturally screens out fat haters. Yeah, that was in the original. So people will be mean to us. Okay. I could see how some people would not see that as a benefit. Number 2, soft and cozy. Yeah, I believe that was in the original one. She said straw soft or something like that, which was a phrase I had never heard before. Number 3, strong. As opposed to what? A thin person or somebody that works out? A quote, fat person is stronger than them. Well, perhaps their legs. I've talked about before, if you're overweight and then you lose a bunch of weight, you have these super duper strong legs that remain, so you can jump all super high. You know what I mean? You can just like jump right onto the top of a building. By the way, that sound effect is actually before my time. I'm not that damn old. Number 4, curves/fat rolls and movement can make dancing look extra fluid or dramatic. What? Man, did you guys see that fat dancer? They looked extra fluid and dramatic. Extra fluid? I don't know if obesity helps our dancing. Number 5, great for those with social anxiety. People are less likely to talk to you. Okay, yeah, I can see why in the beginning you said, not everybody will perceive these to be benefits. I don't know if it's gonna help my social anxiety to see a bunch of people not wanting to talk to me specifically. Number 6, stronger bones, less risk of osteoporosis, and better survival from hip fractures. I think you got that backwards and wrong, actually. While obesity is traditionally thought to protect against osteoporosis by increasing bone mineral density through constant mechanical loading, it actually compromises bone quality. This phenomenon, known as the obesity paradox, means that despite a higher BMD, obese individuals face an increased risk of specific fractures like ankle and leg fractures. Okay, so even though it increases your bone mineral density through constant mechanical loading, which means to put a ton of stress on your joints constantly, it actually compromises bone quality. Number 7, body is a built-in weighted blanket for loved ones who like or need compression. We're laying on our family members to compress them like a weighted blanket? What? That sounds all hot and uncomfortable. I don't want somebody laying all on me, making me all hot. Number 8, better outcomes post-surgery. Dude, why do we just keep saying the opposite of what is true? Obesity significantly impacts surgical outcomes by increasing the risk of perioperative complications. So, you said better outcomes post-surgery. Where are you getting that from? You say 4, 5, 6. We'll have to look at that, I guess, on the last slide, but we're basically just saying the opposite of everything that is true. Number 9, increased survival from cancer. Actually, from what I've researched, there is an increased risk of various types of cancer, plus lower incidences of cancer and other conditions such as COPD, fatalities from infectious diseases, premature birth and menopause, scoliosis, type 1 diabetes, UTIs. Okay, so this list is not the same as the last one. A couple of them were Bigot Filter, Soft and Cozy, Strong, but now we're throwing in various medical claims. Excess body weight is a major preventable risk factor for cancer, associated with up to 8% of all cancer diagnoses and deaths in the US. It significantly elevates the risk for 13 specific cancer types and can negatively impact treatment outcomes. Thank you, Google. Alright, so the 3 medical claims that Fierce Fatty has made so far can easily be verified to be false. This just in, obesity actually makes you thin. Like, we're just saying stuff. Like, what are we doing? Number 10, fat pads help our bodies function. Number 11, being underestimated and sometimes being able to surprise people. I remember that one from the last one. One of the benefits is that people won't expect anything out of you. They'll expect that you can't do anything. So when you can actually do something, they'll be surprised. That's a benefit. You guys thought I couldn't do anything, but then I could do some stuff. And then you were like, okay, all right then. You begrudgingly accepted me. Number 12, easy to find in a crowd. I remember that from the first one. Number 13, more tattoo space. I believe that was also on the first one. Number 14, we are the tank division in protests. Fat people can use their body weight to disrupt, especially helpful if using a mobility scooter. At protests, we can crash into people with our mobility scooter? That's what you're saying? Number 15. Fat bodies are better for snow sledding as weight equals more speed downhill. Okay, that's true. And there's a little smiley face next to that one. That also applies to bicycling, skateboarding, roller skates, etc. When you weigh more, you will go faster down a hill. That actually is a benefit, although that can get scary very quickly. Number 16. More energy reserves during illness. Okay, but are we ever going to tap into those energy reserves and use them? Number 17, built-in community radar, easier to find other fat folks or allies in spaces. Okay, you already said easier to find in a crowd. Although now you're just saying you can see other larger people in general and then assume that they are an ally of yours. You go up to another larger person and you're like, hey, ally, good to see you. And they're like, who are you? What is this? I don't know you. Number 18, great counterweight for balancing things like ladders, canoes, or activities like tug of war. Okay. Number 19, decreased mortality. Why do we just keep saying the opposite of what is true? Obesity is a major public health crisis, contributing to nearly 500,000 U.S. deaths annually and shortening life expectancy by 5 to 20 years. It significantly increases mortality risk by driving chronic inflammation, severe cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and various cancers. Okay, so Fierce Fatty just keeps saying the opposite of what is actually true. And every time they say that, there are little numbers there. So I can't wait till we get to the end to see these references. How many references to FluffyKittenParty.com, or was it .org, I don't know, whatever sounds more legitimate, are we going to make? Number 20, pregnancy and delivery can be easier. That is also false. That is also the opposite of what is true. According to the Mayo Clinic, obesity is a serious health condition that involves having too much body fat. During pregnancy, obesity can have a major impact on a pregnant person's health. Obesity also can affect the health of an unborn baby, called a fetus. Number 21, being part of the fat community. Yeah, being part of the fat community is totally worth all of the things that we just went over a moment ago. That all sucks, but at least we're part of the fat community. You know what I mean? Number 22, lower death risk after hip fractures. I don't even need to look that up to know that's not true. Number 23, harder to kidnap. That was also from the original, and it is true. Although, if someone were kidnapping you, they might have a weapon or something. They might just pull it out on you and be like, get in the dang car. They might not actually physically grab you or whatever. But I do think that it would be harder to kidnap somebody living in a larger body. I agree with that. Number 24, environmentally friendly. Less bathwater needed to fill the tub. Okay, that might be true, but are we using more or less resources than others? Number 25, our bodies are a physical representation of resistance against anti-fat bias and diet culture. No. Our bodies are just a physical representation of the lifestyle that we lead. We're not really sticking it to anybody or being some kind of revolutionary by eating and moving the way that we eat and move. That has nothing to do with the revolution or anything like that. The resistance. That doesn't even mean anything. I don't know why we're always trying to paint ourselves out to be some sort of revolutionary when we're literally just a regular person living our life. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody gives me a hard time about my mustache, now I'm gonna go on to pretend that I'm fighting in the resistance against anti-mustache bigotry or whatever. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a very bizarre spin to put on our own lives to make us feel like we're Guy Fawkes or something. I don't know what the hell we're trying to do. Number 26, more lap space for pets to curl up. I cannot argue with that. Number 27, great to have adult relations with. For some people, that's something that they're into. For others, perhaps not so much. There are people that are specifically into that type of thing, and they would probably agree with that statement. Number 28, better survival from certain diseases such as coronary artery disease, pneumonia, chronic kidney disease, colorectal cancer. I'm gonna have to say no, and no. It's probably the opposite for all of those, just like every other thing that I've looked up. In fact, it's not probably. There is never a case where obesity helps you survive certain diseases at all. In various cases, it's more likely to give you them and make it harder to recover from them. Number 29, increased wind resistance. I don't know if we want that. I actually want to be aerodynamic. And when I'm swimming, I want to be hydrodynamic. Why do you think I shave my head? So I just run all fast, swim all fast like a dolphin. I swim like this. No, I don't really swim like that. Although that would explain why they kicked me out of the pool that one time. Number 30. Built-in storage. Items can rest between stomach and rolls. All right, we got a belly plate. You got a carrot cake on your belly plate. All right, so not only are we using the belly plate, we're also putting items between the rolls. You're like, oh, where are my keys? Clink, clink, clink. You just pull them right out of there. You hear the jingling inside. You're like, you shake your side. You're like, where are those keys? Ching, 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 ching. You're like, oh, right there. And you reach in there and pull them out. You start poking yourself, looking for the car beeper thing for the alarm. You're like, doot, doot, doot. Oh, there it is. Number 31, empathy and increased awareness and understanding of bigotry. Number 32, easier to apply testosterone gel. What? Why would it be easier to apply testosterone gel? Because you're living in a larger body. Why? What? Dude, I couldn't apply testosterone gel until I gained like 30 pounds. I went to apply it before. Oh, just kept bouncing off. Like, I don't understand that statement at all. Number 33, adipose tissue is one of the body's most active and dynamic organs. Yes, it is. Producing hormones, communicating with organs, regulating temperature and immunity, cushioning organs and joints, and supporting metabolic functions. It's funny that you're mentioning all of the things that obesity disrupts. Hormones, organs, body temperature, immunity, joints, metabolic function. Yes, it affects all of those. Negatively, according to the Google searches that we have done. Google is your friend, my friend. Number 34, safety cushion for organs, joints, and bones. Number 35, incredible resilience from surviving discrimination. What? Oh, you will have incredible resilience from surviving discrimination. Unless it broke you or whatever. When people go through adversity, they have two choices. You can either overcome it and become a stronger person, or it can break you and you can become all bitter and angry. So not everybody that's been through adversity or been through bad things becomes more resilient. For a lot of people, they just become broken and bitter. Number 36, mental health. Lower rates of ending yourself. I am not going to look into that, and I doubt it. Number 37, visually interesting. This was from the first one. Fat bodies are made of waves and honey. And every body is different. I don't remember that made of waves and honey bit, but I remember visually interesting, I'm pretty sure. Number 38, staying fat versus losing weight associated with reduced mortality and cardiovascular disease. What? So you're saying if you lose weight, that's associated with reduced mortality and cardiovascular disease? Okay, thank you. Thanks for letting us know something that we likely all knew already. I don't even understand what that's trying to say. One of the benefits of staying fat is that staying fat versus losing weight associated with reduced mortality and cardiovascular disease. I don't understand how that's even worded. Number 39, more likely to survive disasters. Well, a famine. You know, that's for sure. Number 40, keeps us warm. Yeah, even when we don't want it to. That was not a benefit for me. That was an enormous drawback. I couldn't stand being hot all the time and having to have that AC cranking 24/7, dude. Number 41, able to hide a pregnancy for longer. You mean we might be pregnant and not notice it for longer and then accidentally give birth in a gas station bathroom? I'm sorry, things got a little dark at the end there. You guys seen that show, I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant? Number 42, often memorable to people you meet. Physical distinctiveness makes first impressions stick. Number 43, recover more quickly when hospitalized from COVID. I don't believe that is true either. I think the opposite was true. Number 44, buoyancy. That one is circled because that's the most relevant one. That's actually valid. It will make you very buoyant. My grandma, who I'm always talking about, was very obese, and she used to float around the pool like it was nothing. She could literally just go like this and just float there. Number 45, momentum advantage in some sports, e.g. roller derby, rugby. There might be a momentum advantage, but the cardio to get the body moving, is that there? Number 46, fat bodies are counterculture and iconic. I don't think so. I don't believe you're sticking it to anybody or anything like that by living in the body that you're living in. That's a really weird way to look at it. Number 47, belly shelf for snacks. All right, we already covered the belly plate. Number 48, paintball advantage. Pellets may bounce without bursting. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. You clearly have never been paintballing. There's plenty of bigger dudes out there getting hit with paintballs, and they are bursting. Number 49, fat joy, living without shame. And then there are arrows pointing to it that say this. Okay, now can we see those references? Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let me go back. Okay, stronger bones, less risk of osteoporosis, and better survival from hip fractures are supposed to be references 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's go take a look. Okay, number 1 is this. Dude, I can't copy this. Okay, I went and found one of the studies that they were referencing. This study happens to do with hip fracture patients that come in usually having a low BMI and suffer further post-operative catabolism. In this study, patients with a higher BMI, over 26, did have a lower mortality rate than those with a BMI under 22 and those with a BMI between 22 and 26. This is specifically about people that have had hip fractures, so I think this might be from a nursing home or something, or several older people. Okay, so those were a lovely bunch of references that I couldn't actually verify. I did look up one. Google seems to disagree with every single one of them. I remember many of those things from the original video back in 2022, the 28 benefits of being fat, although some of those were also worded a little bit differently. Either way, Google disagrees with every single claim that Fierce Fatty just made. Common sense also disagrees with many of those. How could obesity help your joints or anything like that, that would imply that we live in a world with reverse gravity. Now we're going to be taking a look at a bonus post. For those that don't know, Fierce Fatty is some sort of consultant that goes to people's workplaces and teaches them how to deal with fat phobia or anti-fat bias. See, this says, enhancing care, addressing clients' body image concerns, and anti-fat bias in the GLP-1 era. A training for healthcare providers. The description reads, if you're a healthcare provider committed to practicing weight-inclusive care, you know the effect GLP-1s have had on your clients. Offering evidence-based and compassionate care is more critical than ever, but how do you talk about body image and anti-fat bias if you know these things are tripping up clients in larger bodies, especially if you're in a smaller body yourself? How can you stay aligned with your values without harming or alienating clients by telling them that their new miracle weight loss solution probably won't work? Why would we tell our clients the GLP-1s don't work? We will talk about this and much more in this 2-hour training. See, this is another person selling various courses and stuff. I believe Fierce Fatty was actually going to people's workplaces and giving them anti-fat bias training, or they were trying to do that. We will talk about this and much more in this 2-hour training. Last time I offered something similar was 18 months ago, as I've been busy studying for my master's in psychotherapy. So Fierce Fatty is going around trying to sell size-inclusive training to companies.
Why your company is going to love my size-inclusive training. Have you recognized that there's a gap in your organization's diversity training and are ready to include size inclusion? Hey, I'm Vinny, aka Fierce Fatty, and I help people unlearn anti-fat bias by facilitating diversity training for organizations.
Here we can see that Fierce Fatty has been trying to add body size to DEI training, like talking about different religions and races and stuff like that. Fierce Fatty wants larger people to be considered one of those protected groups.
To add size inclusion to their DEI efforts. I've worked in size inclusion for 10 years, was an adjunct professor at...
Are people actually hiring you to train their organization in size inclusion? Or have we just been trying to get organizations to hire us?
UBC's MBA program. Spent 9 years in corporate recruitment and HR, as well as being a TEDx speaker.
In HR?
And diversity consultant. I provide organizations with engaging, thought-provoking training on anti-fat bias, leading with my values of kindness and compassion.
Yes, and we also said a bunch of stuff that was not true in that last slide.
Employees who've attended my training said it's illuminating and entertaining. And
I bet they said it's entertaining.
company leaders have noticed profound shifts in anti-fat beliefs and inspired one medical organization to create an employee group to implement the strategies that I shared. So if you're a DEI, learning and development, or other leader who either has an established DEI program and are ready to go deeper into size inclusion, or you're an organization that deals with bodies, for example, healthcare or clothing, or you're a leader who has lived experience and...
Or you're just anybody, please buy my product. You're listing like every single person on earth. If you're this, if you're that, if you're that, if you're that. If you're that, you probably want to buy my product if you fall into any of those groups.
Recognize the gaps in your company's diversity training, then let's chat. Head on over to my LinkedIn profile and we can chat there. Just search for Vinny Wells.
I love that picture.
And send me a message, connect with me. I'd love to talk.
Okay, and we're gonna wrap up the video right there. As we saw from that final clip, Fierce Fatty has been trying to sell size inclusion as part of DEI training to various companies. I don't know if they've been successful and people are actually paying for this service, but they've been trying to sell it to people for several years now. Also, I disagree with all of the benefits of being fat. They straight up just said the opposite of what was true for many of those, which was easily verifiable to be false with a quick Google search. Also, many of those things were easily verifiable to be false just using your common sense. Obesity makes you jump higher. That wasn't in there, but it may as well have been. So either way, I disagree with all of the aforementioned, but what do you think? Leave a comment below. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.